I have just two questions to ask this very Igbo king, right? I want to know all this kingship, whatever you're doing in Ghana, can't you do it in your country? Are you not an Igbo man? Don't you guys have land in your Igbo in East that you can be able to set up something like this? The way you guys value kinship in the East, I think people will value you there more than here in Ghana. And that's because Ghana is not your home. You are a visitor in Ghana. They will accept you as a foreigner, as a person. That's if you are bringing change to the nation. So tell me, what have you done to stop all these Igbo men that are creating and bringing commotion in Ghana? What can you say about that? In 10 years' time, we know you and all those your Igbo that you bring into this country, you guys will start fighting Ghanaians over lands and all. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elfina and I'm super excited returning back to you. So I woke up this morning. As you can see, the day is still breaking and whew, I couldn't sleep last night. I slept on this Igbo king matter, as if now my matter. But the thing is that I'm really disturbed and worried about what is happening, and that's because I'm a Nigerian living in Ghana. And I know how this news about this Igbo king is gonna affect me as a Nigerian living in Ghana. So I have just two questions to ask this very Igbo king, right? I want to know all this kingship, whatever you're doing in Ghana, can't you do it in your country? That's A. And B, are you not an Igbo man? Don't you guys have land in your Igbo in East that you can be able to set up something like this? The way you guys value kinship in the East, I think people will value you there more than here in Ghana. And that's because Ghana is not your home. You are a visitor in Ghana. So stop it. Stop what you are doing, okay? Stop it already. Nobody will accept you here. They will accept you as a foreigner, as a person. That's if you are bringing change to the nation. So tell me, what have you done to stop all these Igbo men that are creating and, bringing commotion in Ghana? What can you say about that? Guys, enough of this talk. I've spoken too much. I have a video I want us to check out, okay, in reference to what I just finished telling you guys. Let's go through it together. And please, at the end of it, kindly drop your opinion in the comment section. Let's watch.
A man born in Nigeria who settled in Ghana some decades ago and over time became well-respected leader among his tribesmen has now set up a kingdom for himself in our country, ladies and gentlemen. He is an Igbo man bearing the title Eze in the Igbo Ghana, which translates king of Igbo people in Ghana. His tribesmen in Ghana crowned him this position and the title in 2012. And these are his images, ladies and gentlemen. A very fine gentleman whom we are told is married to a Ghanaian. And as a typical Ghanaian, ladies and gentlemen, I have no problem with that at all. But many people, including myself, will have a problem with anyone or any situation that has the potential to undermine our sovereignty as a republic. What has made our country livable for all people for many years is our hospitality towards one another and to foreigners, ladies and gentlemen. And that cannot be circumvented by any external tribe nor group of people. Ghana has a common chieftaincy practice of installing foreigners as development chiefs for the purpose of providing value to our local communities. This is a typical thing in Ghana. And hence, I thought what this man and his tribesmen were doing was something in line of that. Until, ladies and gentlemen, I read from an internet publication that they, and I mean the Igbo people, or he as a king in Ghana, has acquired acres of lands to build an Igbo town and establish an Igbo kingdom within Ghana. This is where I became disturbed, even though I'm yet to see any substantive evidence for this acquisition. That would be totally unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Ghanaians, I want to believe this is a falsified story. But if not, this is not something we should entertain or allow to continue. Ghana is a sovereign country alongside our kings and our chiefs. They are called kings and chiefs for historical reasons. They have fought and protected their lands and been the source of the unity of our people till this modern era. It is not a title given out of charity, ladies and gentlemen. There is a meaning and a story behind every stool or throne in Ghana. There is a story behind every stool, land, and family lineage that authenticates the royalty of our kings and chiefs. These institutions are not to be toyed with nor replicated in any shape or form, ladies and gentlemen. People have fought and died in the protection of their clans and tribes and lands in Ghana. It used to be our system of governance before the colonizers came in, and therefore should be respected whether by foreigners or locals, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening with this self-acclaimed king of Igbos in Ghana, if true, will be a direct infringement on our chieftaincy structure and the sovereignty of our country as a whole. This cannot happen in any other region outside of Accra, and even in Nigeria. Can this even happen in Ashanti region, ladies and gentlemen, or any of the northern regions? In fact, this shouldn't happen in any other country, and shouldn't happen for that matter in Ghana. The Igbo people of Biafra need a king and true leadership in these times of struggle for an Igbo nation. That cannot be done in a strange land. What this man is trying to do in Ghana will undermine his own people's effort for freedom from Nigeria. And I don't think his intention is to create a kingdom here in Ghana and move his people along. If he indeed has the resources and the know-how to lead his people, this is the time to stand up strong for your people in Abia and Anambra and Ebonyi and Enugu and in Imo states in Nigeria. Biafra is at crossroads with the federal government of Nigeria, and we as Ghanaians don't want to meddle in that. To be crowned a king is not simply by an election. It must be tied to the lineage of your family, the land of your tribe or family, the historical achievements or significance of your family name in relation to the community you lead, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just blip on the radar in a community that has its own leadership structure and annex your throne to theirs, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how it's done, and doesn't make you a king nor a leader. And one reason we have to make this topical is because of how politicians relate with them. During the times of the formal government or the president, this man was seen, invited, and associated with the leadership of our country. And before the elections were held last year, he paid a visit to our current president. This is what he has used to gain for himself the popularity and the needed attention, ladies and gentlemen. But that's definitely not what Ghana needs at this time. We are not in need of more kings and chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. We have a diplomatic relationship with Nigeria, and that should be observed. The idea of our immigration officers inviting him and working with him is not going to be a healthy thing for Ghana and Nigeria's relationship in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to pay attention to all these. Nigeria has a high commissioner in Ghana. He is the representation of Nigerian government in Ghana. He is the one to be consulted or engaged on whatever the issues may be. Ladies and gentlemen, we the people of Ghana must be vigilant with the happenings in our country. We have come a long way with our differences, and that shouldn't be undermined under any circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome people from every part of Africa and the world to our country, because that is who we are as a people. We are inherently peaceful people who just want to go about our business and live in peace with all men. We have what many African countries never had. We are one of the few African countries that has never experienced a civil war since independence, and we've had a stable democracy in the last 33 years. We have successfully seen the transition of political powers in that time frame, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot be naive of the threats to these achievements. There is absolutely no need nor room for an Igbo king of Ghana or Yoruba king of Ghana or any sort of king on our land. How does it even work, ladies and gentlemen? Does it mean we will have to resort to him when an Igbo person is at loggerheads with our laws or not? That cannot be, because no Nigerian travels to Ghana or to any country on a passport issued by an Igbo state. It is Nigeria we deal with and should remain so until there is a country called Igbo. Nigeria is a friend and a strategic partner of Ghana, and that is how far it should go. A similar thing was happening in the Adan area in the Greater Accra region when a group of Lebanese people bought lands and wanted to build a Lebanese community that will prohibit Ghanaians from accessing it, ladies and gentlemen. They likewise wanted a town and a system for themselves within Ghana. Could that ever happen in Lebanon or in Nigeria for Ghanaians under any circumstance? Ladies and gentlemen, let's be guided and not be naive. What then becomes of our originality should that happen on our soil? It is true that historically, the Ga tribe originated from an Igbo community in Nigeria, but those who actually migrated left for a reason and chose to stay and not return. They have since then installed their own kings and chiefs at this point and contributed significantly to our nation's building. The Ga tribe in Ghana live a completely different reality from the Igbos in Nigeria. Don't let the few overlapping cultural similarities confuse you. They've moved on, and we should leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Ghana has its own problems to deal with. Let everyone go and deal with their problems in their individual countries. Our chieftaincy problems are already a headache for us. We don't need more. And this is my message to the Igbo king in Ghana. Oga, we have welcomed you with an open arm and made your stay comfortable in Ghana. We have given you a home away from your home, something that should be respected. Don't start anything that will ruin this situation. I'm told you are a generous man who has helped many of our people in the community you live, and that's totally welcomed, Oga. And I understand you are doing this for the interest of your tribesmen in Ghana. That is totally welcome. But please be reminded and be guided that Ghana is not a designation for your kingdom. That will be in Nigeria. You are at liberty to live within the confines of our laws and borders for as long as you would want. But that should be it, Oga. Our politicians may make promises to you and grant you access to certain high-profile meetings in the country. But we, the people, will see you for the foreigner that you are. As it stands now, there is no indication in any official government publication or credible Ghanaian website or media that suggests that your stool has been gazetted in Ghana. Let's leave it at that, Oga, and let's allow for Ghana to continue to live in the peace that we have. Thank you for watching, and hope this video finds its way to him, and hope to catch you in the next one. If today is your first time here, make today the day you subscribe to support this cause. God bless Ghana and all that dwell within.
So tell me, what have you done to stop all these Igbo men that are creating and, bringing commotion in Ghana? What can you say about that? I even saw a video of you talking about going to the station to free some group of Nigerians who were having meetings, right? And is that how crime is being, like, is that how free people live in Nigeria? Like, I mean, they caught people in an act and they free them just like that. Is that how it's been done in Nigeria? Okay, I can understand the fact that, yeah, that's how it's been done in Nigeria. But I just want to remind you, see, this is not Nigeria, this is Ghana. So what is being done in Nigeria, it can never be done here. That's the difference between these two countries. All right, I hope you grab. And my number 2 question is that, what's going to happen to all those lands in Nigeria? When they claim, say, you be giant of Africa. So what's going to happen to all those lands that you are coming to Ghana to buy acres of land? Is it acres or hectares of land? And you want to build Igbo community. Waiting they happen. Like, it be like, say, sometimes I sit and ask myself, oh, is it because you married a Ghanaian woman, so you think, I married a Ghanaian woman, I can be able to do whatever I want to do in Ghana? No, there are limits to everything, okay, sir? There are limits to everything. And if you being a king here in Ghana is not gonna suppress the rate of crimes, especially coming from your Igbos, because most of the crimes, for all I'm concerned, most of them are Igbos. Yes, most of them are Igbo, like 99% of them, yes, are Igbos. So if you being a king in Ghana is not suppressing the numbers of people, Nigerians that are all over creating commotion and doing all manners of crimes in Ghana, then I don't see any need of you even being a leader in Ghana. I do not see. Because all you can do is to sit and be like, okay, let me go free them. Because that's how it's been done in your country. Mm? Ghanaians will not accept that. I saw a series of videos going around. People are complaining. Last night was the night I sat to watch all those news, the way Ghanaians are bitter talking about it and all. See, if I'm in their shoes, I'm going to talk worse. I'm a Nigerian and I'm not in support of all these things. What have you done? I even asked this question earlier. What have you done to bring change into to this country? They are the ones who gave you who gave you reasons to stay in Ghana, and you are in Ghana. Instead of you to appreciate them, but you are here trying to claim some kind of things like try you think say we don't know waiting, like we don't foresee the future. We do. In 10 years time we know you and all those your Igbo that you bring into this country, you guys will start fighting Ghanaians over lands and all. We are aware of that. We are very much aware of that. So you think Ghanaians will allow that to happen? We've seen it happen in South Africa. They gave those white people lands, and look at now. They are claiming huge space in South Africa right now, and they are using that to fight South Africans, playing the victim. Abi, you've not seen the video of their president with Donald Trump? What was the question? Donald Trump asked the president of South Africa that the white farmers were being killed, right? Abi, asked that question. Did Donald Trump care about any black man? He was being specific, the white. So the same way the white people took large space of South African lands, it started little by little, and now they are in charge, right? Over 90% of South African lands, they are there. And South Africans don't dare to be seen around that vicinity when it's late. So you think that cannot happen? Like within Africans, black skins, you think that cannot happen? It can happen. So Ghanaians have seen it already. They've seen what you can do, especially what Nigerians. Yes, they've seen that when Nigerians enter some places like that, they would like to dominate. They are like Fulanis. When Fulani enter, they would like to, this is my space. With time, they will start fighting the owners of the land. And because of the fame and the money they have, who knows, they might win and take over. So it's better for them to start fighting for their lands right now. So I hope you understand the reason why Ghanaians are fighting you, because they don't want you to, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, to come and start fighting them. Because of course it can happen. If it happened to South Africa, it's possible. It can happen. So my advice for each and every Nigerian living in Ghana is for you to do the right thing. Just do the right thing, brothers. Just do the right thing, sisters, okay? Stay away from trouble. Ghanaians love you. They love you so much. But the only thing that's making Ghanaians hate Nigerians is because of the bad character they brought from their country to this very country. And it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Why? Because you cannot sit and see people from other countries coming into your country and trying to spoil the new generation coming up. Those bad character, good though. Ma una learn una lesson.